Hey, what's up everyone? It's Jimbo back for another expensive versus cheap. Today we're playing with an expensive product. Solution Finish is a trim restore, as the label says. This bottle, I believe it's 16 ounce, 12 ounce bottle is $40. This also labeled as a trim restore by Turtle Wax, and also deemed as the best plastic restorer from Bob in Florida. And so I have some faded out oxidized tiger striped plastic, and so I wanted to do a quick comparison to see if you could get better results with a cheap product or better results with an expensive product. So in the lineup thus far, we haven't had an expensive product actually win the battle. All the cheaper products have won. So let's compare the two. I'm gonna start with the Turtle Wax and do it on this half, and then do the Solution Finish on that other half. Across the board here on the car, there's some vents and stuff that I don't wanna mess with too much. So we'll put the Solution Finish on that side right there. Of course, the most important part of any test when you're doing detailing products has nothing to do with the bottle or label, but has everything to do with the sniffy sniff test. So let's do the sniffy sniff. Turtle Wax, it actually smells incredibly good. Smells really, really good, actually. Smells like a soap more than anything, but smells really good, so let's apply it now. Let's see what happens. Clear, very runny. As I apply it, ooh, little's gonna go a long way. Definitely is adding some depth to it. It's easy to spread. Very easy to spread. Adds nice color and depth to the panel. Very shiny, but it is actually working. Okay, so the Turtle Wax, you can obviously see a big difference. I'm gonna let it soak in for a bit. It does pretty accurately depict the picture on the label. I can still see the tiger stripes a little bit. So let's use the Solution Finish now. Did I mention this one was $5? This is 40. So you can hear the Solution Finish in the bottle. Very watery as well. I'm wearing gloves because, as you'll see, and as you could see around this bottle, is that Solution Finish is actually black. So unlike the clear, but even with the clear, it's very oily. And so I recommend wearing gloves so you don't get your hands all messed up. And honestly, between me and you, we have no idea what's in these chemicals. Your skin being the biggest organ on your body, you really don't want it in your body. All right, so a little bit of Solution Finish there. And right away you could see, because probably the color, and from what I've read and researched, Solution Finish is actually a milled carbon, not a dye, where a lot of people will say it's a dye. But it's actually a milled carbon. And applying it to the surface, similar to the Turtle Wax, has an instant change of color. I'm gonna leave a little stripe in the middle here. And I'm letting the Turtle Wax soak in. I'm gonna let the Solution Finish soak in. Neither one of them say you need to on the bottle. I'm just gonna do that because I wanna wipe the residue away. And on a quick note, when you're restoring trim, a way that you can make it last longer, whatever trim restoration product you're using, is that these can be topped with a dressing. So that's what I always suggest if you're going to be restoring a trim, using a trim restorer. Maintaining it is important to make it not go back to where it was. So you can maintenance it by putting something like a vinyl rubber plastic trim dressing on it. Or even maintaining it with a restoration product like Turtle Wax, because it's simply not that expensive. Now, this is interesting. The Turtle Wax seems to be drying out on the panel, where the Solution Finish actually seems to be to be sitting on it pretty nicely. Actually, it looks like some has soaked in, but it's also coming off. I could maybe still see the tiger stripes a little bit, but I feel like this, the turtle wax seems to be drying out quite a bit. It was, when I first applied it, if you go back in the video, it was very shiny and vibrant, and now maybe it's just it drying out to a dull finish, which is nice. I think for a trim restoration product, you actually do want a dull finish, not a super shiny, because if you want shiny, you could just add a dressing to it. So, all right, let's wipe them off. I'm gonna wipe off the turtle wax first. Towel. I'm gonna move this. Let's wipe off the solution finish. Okay, so the comparison is that there still is a little bit of tiger striping I'm seeing in that the color and the richness of the color is much deeper on the solution finish than the turtle wax. Sheen is about the same. The solution finish, just from initial looks, it does look like it restores it a little bit more to factory, whereas the turtle wax is kind of, it still looks like the plastic is faded, and it's crazy. Even as we sit here and we're doing this video, it's dissipating more and more. So in fact, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give it about an hour. I have some more cars I need to do over here. I'm gonna come back in an hour and see, because of this turtle wax, and this is the first time I've used a turtle wax product, but as I sit here and look at it, it's fading more and more and more. So I wanna come back in an hour, see if this is faded even more compared to where the solution finish is. So let's give it an hour. For you, it's just gonna be the next scene. I'm gonna give it an hour, come back, see the results. About an hour later, here is the turtle wax side. There is the solution finish. As you can see, even in about an hour, the turtle wax is pretty much fading and absorbing and blowing off. Still a noticeable difference, but not nearly as well as the solution finish. And this could even go for another layer. You could still see some tiger stripes in there. So you could reapply another layer, but this, even after an hour, has pretty much, it's still there a little bit, but it's pretty much going away, whereas the solution finish is there. So in this test, I would conclude I would go with solution finish, and then you could probably even top it with this, but I would just top it with either a plastic sealant, plastic coating maybe, or even just a dressing, and use the dressing more frequently. According to Chris, when I've talked to him, it's better because it attacks the impurities in the plastic. It's not simply just an oil. So it's milled carbon, from what he said, and it looks significantly better even with that one layer. Again, you could probably get away with doing at least one more layer. The turtle wax, I don't think even after multiple layers. This was more probably just an oil. Hence the price difference, of course, $40, $5, but still, if you're gonna take the time to do something like that, or if you're working on a customer's car, you probably wanna make sure it doesn't look good for the customer and then fade out and look bad the rest of the day. Or if it's your own plastic, you probably wanna really restore it. That 12-ounce bottle solution finish is gonna last quite a long time. So, and if either one of these, if they get onto the paint or the windows, it wipes right off, no big deal. Obviously I have some cleanup to do in this car's thrash, but anyway. So there you go, cheap versus expensive on the plastic trim. There we go. Subscribe for more like this. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see, or what products you would like to see compared to each other. I'd love to get your guys' input. What products would you like to see compared to one another to see how they react, both expensive and cheap? Let me know in the comments below. See ya.